We talked last week about the Tower of Babel, and then the next story that the Bible tells us about is that it starts telling us about Abraham. Before he was called Abraham, he lived in Ur of the Chaldees, which was down about here. I don't have my arrow in the right place, but he was about down here. And God told his dad to move the whole household somewhere else, so they moved up to this area here. And then God told Abraham, and I don't know if it was before or after his dad died, but he told Abraham to go where I tell you to go, and I'll bless you. And God sent him down here to the area we now know as Israel, and he took Sarah, his wife, and he took Lot, his nephew, with him down to this area. After they were there a little while, there came a famine, and so there wasn't enough food in this area, so they went to Egypt to have food, because the Nile River kept Egypt watered enough that they had food during this drought. When they got there, he told Sarah, if anyone asks you, tell them you're my sister, instead of telling them that you're my wife, because you're so pretty that I'm afraid they will kill me so they can marry you. Now, Abraham and Sarah at this time were 80 and 90 years old, but I think people probably aged a little slower then. At this time, Abraham will live to be 180-ish, so he's about almost half done with his life. But they're about that age, and they went to Egypt. They did tell people that she was his sister instead of his wife, and so she was moved into the Pharaoh's harem with all the other available young ladies. And God began to curse the Pharaoh's family, so they couldn't have children, and they were sick. And it finally dawned on the Pharaoh what was going on, and he went to Abraham and he chewed him out. He told him, why did you lie to me? And Abraham said, well, you know, it wasn't completely a lie. She's my half-sister. We have the same father. At this time in history, the genetic code had not degraded as much as it has today. So it was okay for brothers and sisters to marry back then. It's not okay today because there's all sorts of genetic problems that can happen if a brother and sister are married today. In fact, today, even cousins can't marry because there's just too many bad things can happen. But at this time, it was still okay, at this time in history. So he told Pharaoh, well, actually, she is my sister. She's just also my wife. And Pharaoh said, don't you do that again. And he gave Sarah back to Abraham, and he gave them gifts, and Abraham prayed for them, and Pharaoh's household was healed. So everything's okay. And Abraham and Sarah went back to Canaan's land. And I don't know if Lot stayed in Canaan or went to Egypt with them. The Bible doesn't mention Lot in that time period. But they're back at Canaan, and they're with Lot and his family. And we will talk about Lot and his family next week. Okay, let's sing a song. Okay. Jesus loves me, this I know, for the Bible tells me so. Little ones to him belong. They are weak, but he is strong. Yes, Jesus loves me. Yes, Jesus loves me. Yes, Jesus loves me. The Bible tells me so. Jesus